Notes on compound interest. The definition of compound interest is a type of interest that earns interest on the principal amount as well as all interest previously earned. So let's look at the compound interest formula. You never have to memorize it. It is on our formula chart. So that capital A stands for total amount. And the P stands for principal, just like our simple interest formula from the last practice. And the R is the rate. And remember that you always have to convert it into a decimal from a percent. And then we know that T is going to be the time, but it'll always be in years. So now let's look at some questions. So as long as you have your equation, you may use a calculator, your iPad or your phone or anything that you may have at your home. So what I like to use is the Desmos calculator that we have purchased at our district. If you go on to Manager, you can definitely download it. It'll be a green icon that I'm going to show you in a minute. So let's look at the first example. It says Nathan saves $500 in a bank account that earns 8% compound interest. How much interest will he earn after 7 years? So we know that he has $500 saved in his bank account, and he's earning 8% compound interest. And we know that he's going to keep it in there for 7 years. So let's look at how we can plug this in. First off, that P is going to be the $500, that's the principal, the starting amount. We know that the rate is going to be 8%, but we know that we have to convert it into a decimal, moving the decimal places 2 places to the left. And that would be 0.08, not 0.8. That's 80%. So make sure you add in that 0 or else your answer is going to be completely different. And then T is going to be that 7 years, so it's just a 7. And then all we have to do is plug it into our formula. So A equals P parentheses 1 plus R to the T power. And then we know that we can just plug in our numbers. 500, 1 plus 0.08 to the 7th power. Now all we have to do is get our calculator ready. And I'm going to use my Desmos calculator, which is this green icon, and I'm going to just clear the screen real quick, and then I'm going to have my calculator right beside our practice so that we can just plug it in very easily. And then I'm going to plug in our numbers that we have, parentheses 1 plus 0.08 closed parentheses, and then this A to the B button right here next to the 7 is going to be our exponential, and then I'm going to put it to the 7th power, and we have our answer very clearly right there. And that's going to give us $856.91. I'm going to round to the nearest hundredths because we're talking about money, and that would be the total amount after Nathan puts the $500 in the bank. He's going to earn in total amount $856.91. Let's look at the question though. It said, however, how much interest is he going to earn? So they're not asking you for the total amount, they are asking you for the interest. So now we have to take a second step. We need to figure out how do we get the interest. So when we're getting just the interest, all we have to do is we have to subtract the total amount and the principal, the amount that he put in, so that we can calculate how much interest he earned. So all we have to do is subtract the principal, which was 500. Just going to put the P right there. So I know that it was $856.91 in total, but in order to figure out the interest, we would have to subtract the $500 from it, and that would give us the final answer. So I'm going to use my Desmos. I'm going to go to the second row, $856.91 minus 500, and that would give us $356.91, and that would be the interest. Number 2. Michelle borrows $2,500 from the bank and will need to pay back 4% interest compounded annually. How much will she need to pay back if she pays back in 5 years? So I know I'm going to figure out the principal, the rate, and the time. And I'm just going to plug it into my formula, which is A equals P times 1 plus R to the t power. And then if you just plug it in, it's 2,500, 1 plus 0.04 to the t power. And then I'm going to just plug that into my calculator. So again, I know that it's going to be 2,500, 1 plus 0.04 to the 5th power. And that gives us $3,041.63. So now let's figure out what the question was asking, if we need to stop here or if we need a second step. So it said, how much will she need to pay back? So it's asking you the total amount that she needs to pay back after the 5 years. So it's not just asking for the interest. You need to figure out the total amount, and this formula gives you the total amount already. So that actually concludes our problem. We do not need to figure out the interest, and it's going to be dollars and units, and that is it for this practice or these notes.